Welcome back to BB Kingle. Like I said in my last video, the top 3 most haunted locations, I'm going to do a video on each. And this week, it's about the Moundsville Penitentiary. Now a tourist destination, this was once a prison that housed some notorious inmates. The Gothic structure, which was built in 1876, stopped being active in 1995. It was originally built for 480 prisoners, but at its peak it held around 2,000. So cells for 1 or 2 people were now housing 4, and the living conditions were rough. Supplies were running out due to there being over 1,500 more people than they intended. So the conditions in there were just not nice whatsoever. In these cells where it was only meant for 1 or 2 people, the extra inmates that were getting put in there were on the floor. Freezing conditions. Some days they'd go without food due to, like I said, the resources running low. Not a nice prison to be at whatsoever. The prison was also very notorious for its solitary confinement. Some inmates would even spend 23 hours in isolation. Coming to the end of the prison's reign, it started getting a haunted reputation. People said they heard sounds, voices, footsteps, they seen apparitions, they seen shadows, all the usual ghost kind of related stuff like I mentioned in my last video. So Kingle, what gave it its haunted reputation? What happened there? Yeah, conditions were rough, not a pleasant place, but something must have happened there for there to be a haunted kind of vibe attached to it. So what was it? Over its reign from 1876 to 1995, there was a reported 998 deaths, 100 of which were due to the electric chair. A lot of people died here. And there's one story I'm going to tell now about a man called William Red Schneider. I apologise about the picture of William Red Schneider here, but there was no good ones for the lad, poor bloke. So William was released in 1967, but only managed a day of freedom due to killing 2 men straight away after he got released. He obviously got life for this and was serving his life sentence, and on November 5th, it was a Sunday, in 1992, the guards that were on shift felt comfortable enough to allow the inmates to roam around. Rusty Lassiter was one of William's good friends, and he decided to go over to see William, who was in his cell, which was number 20. Rusty decided to stab William with a piece of metal he got from his bed that was sharpened. He done so 37 times. And when the guards finally got down to William's cell, there was no one there but him and a pool of blood, and all the walls were covered in blood as well. When people go and visit cell 20, they say they can hear William's voice talking to them, calling out, asking for help. So, as you remember from my last video, I showed this picture. Now this picture is the Shadow Man, and it was pictured in May 2004. A woman was spending the night there, and she captured the man standing in front of the cafeteria door. Apparently he stood there for a while, and she was quick enough to get the picture of him before he disappeared, even though he was stood there for quite a while. Just to round this whole video up, I'm going to show now a few clips of a news reporter who went to the penitentiary, just to elaborate on my points about William Red Schneider, the cell size, and the Shadow Man.
The largest prison in the state was made of cells that did not care about claustrophobia, 5 foot by 7 foot to call home.
It was a little overcrowded, and some cells had to house 2 inmates, but at one time there was 3 in a cell like this. And you can see that there was a lower bunk, an upper bunk, and then if they needed, there was a 3rd mattress put on the floor.
3. The tight quarters are what inmates feared the most. They fervently believed that if you died in the pen, then your spirit would remain in captivity for all eternity. But that didn't deter the violent murders among the 998 deaths documented at the prison. One of the most infamous prisoners went by the name William Red Schneider. Now, he was murdered in his cell, and some who ventured to the penitentiary say they can still hear his raspy voice call out.
So hopefully you've enjoyed this kind of video, me just saying facts about a terrible place I never want to visit. Keep an eye out in the future for any that you may be interested in, and I'll be doing a lot more like this of locations, stories and sightings where I'll just say what happened and leave the opinions to yourselves. So let me know in the comments if you believe this place is haunted, and would you go? Would it be something you're interested in to go have a look and to see if anything does actually happen, anything paranormal? But if you did like this video, please check this one out here. Stay with me and follow me on my journey for paranormal sightings and events beyond my belief.